Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Marta. I come from Norway and I love makeup, especially indie makeup and sparkly makeup. And today I'm going to feature two very sparkly palettes. These two are some new palettes from Glam Shop from their 70s holiday collection or 70s vacation collection. And this one is called Sorbet. This one I don't really know, so let me know down below what this is in English. It's called like Muslinowa. But these two palettes are just beautiful summer palettes, so I had to order them because I don't know if I'm getting them in PR. And just look at how beautiful that is. It's like perfect for summer, and that is the Sorbet one. And then we have the other one, which is a little bit more neutral and lighter, but still has so many beautiful shimmers. And I was just sold on these palettes when I saw the swatches of the shimmers, because there's some duochromes and almost multichromes too, I think. So yeah, I'm just super excited to show you these palettes because I just think they are so pretty. So if you want to see some swatches, I also did quite a few comparisons with, for example, Terra Moons and other Glam Shop shadows. And this look that I created here, then keep on watching. Here is a close-up of the palette and it is so stunning. Can you see all those gorgeous shimmers? They're just incredible. And even like this one is like a grungy, bronzy pink with, I think it has a green flip. But my favorite is obviously this one, which I cannot wait to swatch. This one looks a lot like one of their multichromes, so that will also be exciting to see in the comparisons. And we have this one, which looks a lot like a lot of the teal kind of duochromes that you see from a lot of brands. And yeah, it's just a really beautiful palette, so let's get to swatching. And those are the swatches of the Sorbet palette. I will zoom you in and show you with some different lighting to really show off the shifts and sparkles too, because these shadows are so incredible. And here you can see them. The first one is just a really stunning kind of natural champagne, but it has a little bit of a blue to purple shift as well, but it's not very apparent. The second one has a very light pink peachy base with a pink to blue shift. It's also very stunning, but a little bit more subtle. And then there's this gorgeous purple with a golden shift, gold to green, I think. This one, the green with the blue to purple shift, is just so stunning. It's super reflective, much better than I even expected just from the photos. So pretty. And then I'm gonna try to show off the mattes here from this angle. So it's very like bright summery mattes with those two more neutral shades. And then the rest of the shimmers. There's a more peachy neutral one with a more golden shift. Whereas this one is more of a, I find that it has a kind of mustardy base, and I could also see that as kind of a small stain on my finger. And it has a pink to very golden, almost green shift. It's very beautiful and perfect for fall. And then the two prettiest shades in this palette are the two last ones. This one reminds me so much of the Glam Shop It's a Hit, so I'll have to compare to see like, is it the same or not? But it's just a gorgeous kind of medium toned purple with a goldish green to blue shift. And then this one, oh my god, it's so pretty. It's like a grass grungy green base, and then you can see that it has a very purple to pink to gold shift, and it's just so pretty. Immediately when I saw this shade, I just knew that I had to have the palette. So those are all of the swatches, and now I can swatch the other palette, which is also gorgeous, but a little bit more on the pink side. Now we're ready for this palette. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's probably something like Muslinowa. No idea though. And it's a lot more neutral, as I said, and the reason I got this is mainly because of this yellow. It looks a lot like Lightspeed from Tara Moons, which I actually have, so I can compare them in the later comparisons, so check that out if you already have that. But there were also a few others that I just found super stunning. This one, for example, looks like a deeper kind of laser shade from their singles. And I mean, look at these shimmers, they're so stunning. This one is a beautiful dark brown, but it has a lot of multicolored sparkles. And of course we have these gorgeous more pinky tones. So yeah, there's a lot of beautiful shades here, and the mattes are a little bit more on the neutral side. And yeah, I'll just start swatching. And here are the full swatches of this palette. It is so pretty. It's a lot lighter. As you can see, they do have a lot of beautiful shifts, but they're very light and beautiful. And I'm just going to show you with the different lighting. So the first one is the only one in these palettes that is very much a satin shade. And it's very pretty. It has a light pink shift, but for me, I would probably, if anything, use it as a highlighting shade. And then I feel like these two are relatively similar. This one, the last one in the first row, was a little bit more flaky, and you can see that it has a slightly deeper base. And I found that this one is more of a teal blue. I don't know how much you can see that. I think it's a little bit too light still. Whereas this one down here is a little bit more actual blue to purple. I don't know if you can really see that, but I hope that makes a little bit of sense. And also this one is a little bit more pink, I think you can see. Then this one is a very beautiful, a little bit more on the neutral side of a pink. The other two here are just a little bit more cooler toned, I feel like. And this just has a pink base with a golden shift, and it goes kind of to blue. And then of course we have the mattes. I don't know if you can even see it that well right now. That's the hard part with this kind of swatch format, but they're quite neutral, some pinkish purpley tones. And then for the last, shimmers. So this one, it's so pretty. I don't know if you have seen Ice Blink from Shine by SD and the Seeking Shifts collab, but this one has those warm and cool tone sparkles, so it just reminds me a lot of a deep version of that, like with a brown base, and it's just really beautiful. And then we have this one with a yellow base. It's not super apparent, as you can see there, but you still see it. Like, it's a yellow base, but how much you will see of that on the eye, I don't really know. But it has a gorgeous blue to purpley pink shift, and it's just so pretty. And this one is more of just a peachy shade, I would say, but it's quite neutral, and it has that gold shift as well. And then we have this one, which is more of a purpley pink base with that gorgeous green to purple shift. So I think, and also I think it goes a little bit through blue, if I'm not mistaken, right there. Yeah, but that is the whole palette. Isn't it beautiful? I'm happy I picked this up, even though it's a little bit more lighter and neutral. This is definitely a palette that would pair beautiful with neutral mattes if you just want something work appropriate but still has a little pizzazz. Then this palette would be great for that, I think, because it's relatively neutral but still has those gorgeous shifts and sparkles. And now I'm going to show you some comparisons. For the first comparisons, I've started out with the shade Rococo from the Rococo palette from Glam Shop. Then we have the new one here, which is in the Sorbet palette. And then I decided to swatch Abracadabra from their Singles Shadows, because I was just thinking a lot of people probably have those. So then you can see the difference in those, but I will also find some of my Terra Moon's shadows and see how those compare. But you can definitely see that this is a little bit deeper. It has a more blue-purple shift, whereas the new one here is more pink to golden green, and Abracadabra is just so much darker and also has a warmer kind of shift. Okay, so I just swatched a bunch more, so I just have to talk about them before I forget all the names. I just had to change up the setting a bit just so you can see all of them. All the ones right here are from Terra Moon's, and it is Neutron Star, Coalescence, Quasar, I don't know how to pronounce it, and then we have Serpents, which I wanted to compare with the one in the top row to the right. So again, we have the new one right here from the Sorbet palette, which is called De la Okvodi, I think. And then it's all of those Terra Moon's ones. I don't think they're that similar at all, to be honest. Yeah, they're just too different. This one has a more cooler toned pink shift. These just are in general warmer, and they also have a stronger base, so that is something worth noting if that's something you care about. And also I feel like these are a little bit more textured, whereas the Glam Shop one is a little bit more smoother. And as for the last one right here that I said, that was Serpents from Terra Moon's, and I really wanted to compare that to the shade that we have over here in the Sorbet palette. You can already see that Serpents from Terra Moon's has a stronger green base. And then we have the Mietis right here from the Sorbet palette. It has the same kind of shift, but it's just not as textured. Although it is very sparkly, but it just doesn't have that kind of a base. And then we have Prismatic right here, which is from JD Glow, just to compare that, which is very similar to Serpents. And then the last two here are actually Lightspeed here from Terra Moons, and then it is the yellow one from the, what is it called? Muslinowa Palette, I think. I'm probably butchering these names. But this one is the shade Jasny Latex, which is that gorgeous yellow with a blue shift, blue to purple shift. So you can see that it is actually different from Lightspeed. Lightspeed has a warmer yellow and a stronger yellow base, and not as strong of a blue shift. I feel like the blue is very much apparent here in the Glam Shop shadow, whereas it's not that apparent in Lightspeed. And I think that says a lot of how strong this shift is, because I feel like Lightspeed really has a blue shift from before, like from what I remember from it, and as you can see here, it's very reflective. Just for fun, I did decide to swatch Venomous from Glam Shop, which is the multichrome green shade that they have. I don't feel like that has a very apparent shift, but just if in case you wanted to see that with the other ones from Terra Moons right here, you can see how reflective and textured that is. Here, this is the new pink shade from the, I will just show you in the palette. It is this shade from the Sorbety palette, and I decided to swatch that together with Turbo Snap, which is a Turbo Glow shadow from Glam Shop. I know that a lot of people also have this one, and then just for because why not, I decided to swatch, I think it's called Candy Floss in English, but it's called Wata Cukrowa in Polish, and that's how I remember it, because all the previous or the first shadows I got from Glam Shop I just kind of memorized with their Polish names. But you can see that Turbo Snap is a lot darker and warmer in the base, but they do have kind of the same shifts. Wata Cukrowa I find is quite different. It is a lot warmer and more pink in the shift. This one is more of a light icy blue shift. Now the next shades I will compare is this one called Ooh and the one I thought about then was the shade Bombovi from the Turbo Glows from Glam Shop. So I have Bombovi swatched right here, and then it's the new one from the palette right here, which is very similar but a much darker version, I would say, but you can see that it's the same shift. They both have a pink to golden green shift, and I just find both of them super beautiful. And then I hope I'm able to show you, but I swatched Laser, which is the first one there, together with this shade from that other palette called Muslinowa. My suspicion was quite right. I find Laser and that 100% velour shadow to be very similar. Almost dupes. Maybe Laser is a little bit more green, but they're very, very similar. And just imagine how many shadows... Okay, now the puppies are awake. But just imagine how much or how many shadows you get for that price. It's 25 euros, I think, for the whole palette. And you get so many amazing shadows, and you can just depot the palette if you want to use them as single shadows, but wow, I'm just so impressed with the quality of the shadows, and just like the price point is just so crazy to me. Next I swatched Aurora. It is one of their single shadows, like their OG single shadows, with the one from the Sorbet palette, which is in the bottom right here. And I think they're also almost identical. So it's, again, Aurora is the first one, and then it's the one from the palette right there. It's maybe a little bit deeper, and it almost looks more reflective, but it might just be because of that deeper base. And of course I couldn't forget It's a Hit, so I had to swatch that here, which you can see that it's definitely more multichrome, although the other one is also very shifty and beautiful. But it's maybe a little bit more cool toned than It's a Hit. So if you like that kind of shade, you can see here how similar they are, or not similar, but it's definitely like in the same color family. So if you like that, then maybe it's worth getting this palette for all of those gorgeous shadows. I'm so excited to do a look now, and I think I will try to stay with this palette alone because I want to use this one, and I think I will be using it with this matte right here because it has a few like a little bit of green undertone. Maybe I will add a little bit of this more mustardy yellow. We will just have to wait and see. I would have loved to use this, and maybe I will get to use a little bit of this just for like the inner corner or something. But anyway, I'm gonna start out with this brownish sandy matte, and the brush I'm using is 025 by Glam Shop. And Glam Shop actually just released this one. It's like a gel eye base. Yeah, gel eyeshadow base, and I don't know, we will just see how it works. I don't know if that's like gonna be a replacement for what I usually use, which is a kind of silicone primer. It did have silica in it, so maybe. But I definitely need something that will help both my eyeshadow be pigmented but also stay during the day and not let the oils kind of seep out of my skin and mix with the eyeshadows. I will say that the matte shadow is applying amazing on top, but I mean, it's just a brown, so maybe it's not necessarily just the base. I do think I want to use that mustardy yellowy shadow, so I'm just taking that same brush and I'm just applying that for like the inner part of the lid. It definitely looks more orange on the lid now. I'm not sure if you can tell. Oh, these two colors together though, it's like my fave. Reminds me of the sunset, no, the sunflower colors. I'll just be applying this gel base onto the lid again. I hope. I mean, that's probably too much. I'm just gonna apply it here before the shimmer because it says it's meant both for mattes and for shimmers. And then I'm gonna take that delicious green purpley pinky shade here and I'll just apply it with my finger. I feel like I want to tap in a little bit of that first shade right here, but I don't know, where should I tap it? Just like in the middle? This one is a little bit chunkier. Yeah, that is looking very pretty. Very like effortless application, very simple look to do. For the lower lash line, I'm just going to use this one, again, the kind of greenish brown, and I think I'll actually use this more nude shade just to blend it out because I am wearing that I am wearing this so that is like the color changing lip gloss that they released, and it is very bright pink. I might end up putting something else over it, but I feel like I need something slightly pink toned to just like tie this look together with those bright pink lips. I'm just using that same brush and taking that nude shade. And this brush is, by the way, 027 from Glam Shop. Now for the inner corner, I will of course be using this one, but I will apply it after I have done the rest of my face makeup. So the next thing you will see is, I guess, the close-up of this look. That was the close-up of this look. I will say that the eyeshadow base is good this far. I will see how long the eyeshadow lasts, but I feel like all the shadows applied really beautifully on this, and it's a lot bigger tube. I feel like it's 15 milliliters than the Glam Glue. Yeah, that only has 6.5 milliliters. And that one lasts me so long, like I think more than a year maybe, because I don't always use it and I use a very small amount. So if this one ends up being something I can use both as a primer for the mattes and as a like an eyeshadow glue, then this is such a good product. So we will have to see, but this far I'm positive. And then of course the palette that I ended up using, the Sorbet palette, it's so pretty. You could see from the swatches too, it's just really a gorgeous palette. There are only 4 shimmers, but I think that was kind of smart of them, and I heard that the explanation was that they have so many special shadows and that's what they are kind of known for. So I think that was a smart move, because you can create a lot of like subtle looks just using this palette. So personally I would use them as companion palettes, but I might also depot them to have them as single shadows. But I think that's basically it for this video. I know some people might ask what kind of lipstick I'm wearing. It's from Unearthly Cosmetics. It says Alien because I bought like the last ones before they were going on sale, and it's in the shade Jeannette, and then I used Control, like CTRL, from Colourpop as a lip liner. When it comes to this lip gloss, I find it to be extremely comfortable on the lips. It's not sticky, but you do get super pink lips, so I don't necessarily love the color. So I hope that they will come out with like a just regular see-through gloss, or even with a little bit of a tint just in the lip gloss itself, because the formula itself was so good. But the color, maybe not my favorite. But I think that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I would so love to hear your thoughts on these palettes. Did you get them? Do you want them? What do you think of them? Let me know down in the comment section. And again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that I will see you in my next video. Bye!